Are we ever going to have a female president, or at least more female leaders globally? Let's find out. So we've never had a female president in America. Hillary Clinton came close, Trump beat her, unbelievable. Elizabeth Warren got annihilated. Like, she was the front runner, she was on a Time magazine, and everyone was saying that she was the horse to beat. I thought she was. I really thought the DNC would rig it so that she would win. She got 5% of the vote. So 30% of women in America are feminists, so that would be 15% of the population already, and 10% of men asked, that would be another 5%. So 20% of the American population are feminist. I think it's reasonable to assume 100% of feminists would sit on the DNC side. So I would have thought she'd have got 20% of the DNC vote. Well, actually, that's not even, because only half people vote DNC. I'd have thought she'd have got a lot more votes than 5%. So even the feminists didn't vote for her. They voted for Joe Biden. He's got a rape or a sexual assault allegation floating around, and he's that creepy guy that sniffs people's necks. I completely get that. Guys like that freak me out. Like, imagine how it freaks women out. Like, she didn't get anywhere near it. I wonder what's going on there, right? I've already done a video on this, that feminism isn't exactly real. Like, it's not exactly what it says it is. It's a test. And that when there's a tough, difficult political issue that requires lots of dialoguing and compromise and a lot of understanding, some brash idiot always rushes out and says hashtag believe all women, or hashtag kill all men, or it's all so simple. And that's what feminism has become. But getting back to the issue of is there going to be a female president? Well, we had a female prime minister here in Australia. It was a disaster. Easily worst prime minister we ever had. Julia Gillard, her name was. She never won an election, really. A better man than her, Kevin Rudd, won it, and she stabbed him in the back and took his job. Then she had a hung parliament, and then she clung on to parliament for as long as she could, and it was just the worst 3 years politically down here. It was a disaster, and we don't have anyone on the horizon that looks like they're going to go anywhere near being a female prime minister right now. In New Zealand, they've got Jacinta Ardern. She seems popular internationally, but not so popular at home. Canada, they've got almost a female prime minister, but not actually one. I just can't see how America's going to get it, and why not? Well, number one, the president over there is the commander-in-chief, which is the guy that says, all you conscripts, go over that hill, hold it, and die, and you guys go and do a whole bunch of killing. Kill everyone over there, and you guys here, I need you to invade this city here and control the population. It's like the general of all generals, the commander-in-chief. I mean, are the people really going to trust the gender that's never been to war? Like in Operation Iraqi Freedom, 1.8% of combat deaths were female, but that's a very small number. And there's not much going on in female leadership right now that says, hey, let's get involved in war. Let's get our girls out there doing some killing, and let's get some girls dying on some hills holding a flag. And beyond that, we don't see. Remember Jessica Lynch, the lady that was blown up and got a leg broke in Iraq? Anyway, Google her name, Jessica Lynch, if you don't remember it. We, the world, didn't, and the people didn't deal with that very maturely. Everyone wanted to say that she was making this last-ditch stand with a machine gun, expending her last bullet, fighting the enemy back. But when she was rescued, she said she never even fired a shot. But why did we lie about her? I think the fact that the president has to be the one that goes to war is going to be a huge problem for having a female president. I just don't think women are there yet, or we don't trust them, or that's not a progression that we've made yet, and that may well be a regression in the eyes of feminism. They always say that they're the more civilized. Feminists seem to say that women are the more civilized gender, and if women were in charge, there would be no wars. That's not going to work. I think the other big problem is that, fair enough, in the old days, perhaps there was this socially constructed and gendered stereotype of women that they should walk a pace behind their husband and always ask permission to speak and call their husband sir and be subordinate and sort of be whipped. That's probably, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not a historian. But feminists certainly believed it was, and they had to smash that stereotype, but they seem to have just created another one. And the other one that seems to exist at the moment is the one that's something like, I'm perpetually a victim, and everything that's ever wrong in my life is actually the fault of the patriarchy or the system or the men or binary language, and the term male and female form a hierarchy and the female's on the bottom. Or if you're a neo-Marxist, you say that males are the status quo, and the status quo is, the system serves the status quo, and you need critical theory to bring women up. But either way, women seem to place, or feminists seem to place women in the position as the victim in all epistemic theories, be it post-structuralism, be it neo-Marxism, or be it something else. It always seems to be that the original position, or the starting position, is an oppressed woman that needs to be liberated. Difficult to vote for that for president, like someone that's always saying, I'm a victim, everything that I've ever done wrong is not really my fault. There's an evolutionary psychologist called Diana Flashman. I saw her on a show called Trigonometry, and she was saying that it's part of her job as a doctor of psychology. She's always read self-help books for women, because she's a woman and people read self-help books. But she started reading them for men, and she found there was a big difference. When you read a self-help book for men that says your problems are your fault, but that means that you can fix them. You drink too much, you eat too much, go for a run, go out and make some friends, join a team sport, get out of the house, be nice to your kids, stand up for yourself at work, and give all these things, like putting the pressure on men to make their lives better. But apparently, I've never read a female self-help book, but apparently when you do, it says everything's men's fault. Run a bath, get a glass of red wine, block of chocolate, watch Bridget Jones's Diary. You're not overweight, you're cuddly, you're not lazy, you're prioritizing yourself. That you've got no friends isn't a problem, because friends are all judgy anyway, and just seems to try and explain away every problem that the female has, to say that that's just the system oppressing you all the time. If that gets stereotyped, and I think it is being stereotyped in the last 10 years, for what it's worth, I don't think that was the women of the 90s when I was at school. I think it's a pretty recent development, but I can't be certain of that. If that gets stereotyped, then I definitely don't think we're seeing a female president anytime soon. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Hit the gym and get ready to go to work. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys.